Ladies and gentlemen, today we face one of the most urgent environmental crises of our time, which is plastic waste. Now, from grocery bags to water bottles, plastics are piling up in landfills, polluting oceans, as well as harming wildlife. But what if we could turn this problem into a powerful solution? What if plastic could actually fuel our future? Through groundbreaking technologies like pyrolysis, gasification, plasma arc processing, and uh, catalytic cracking. We now have the ability to convert plastic into usable gas and liquid fuels. These processes break down complex plastic polymers into simpler compounds like methane, hydrogen, diesel, and even electricity, offering a more cleaner, more circular path for managing our waste and meeting energy demands. Now, from high temperature reactors that produce syngas to catalytic systems that generate fuel efficient oils, this is more than science. It's innovation with impact. And it's already being tested as we speak.
I have created diesel from plastic waste. The entire world deserves to know and understand that plastic is not waste, it is not trash, it is fuel. Plastic has more energy within it than gasoline and diesel and jet fuel combined. When we throw it in our oceans, plastic has so much oil content in it that if we were to convert every bit of plastic in the ocean into oil, we would be able to run our world for over 30 years. It is $84 billion worth of plastic in the ocean. Imagine the landfills. The landfills are gold mines. We have not been told the truth. Plastic is made of crude oil. Plastic is a startup form of crude oil. We will turn it back into oil. We will save the world. Nature jab. Let's change the world. I got stabbed, and it led me to building all of this and turning plastic waste into fuel. Not everybody knows that a major part of my plastic into fuel journey was actually being stabbed. You see, in 12th grade, there was a classmate I had in my welding class, was playing around with a knife he brought in one day. My hand got in the way. I was stabbed, and my tendon was sliced. You can actually see the surgery mark there, so I couldn't use my thumb for months. And this was the first time in my life that I ever was injured in such a degree where I had to go through, physical therapy, and then I had to go through surgery to get my tendons kind of rewired, you could say. And so up to this point, I always, my whole life, been such a kinesthetic person. I was a gardener. I did jewelry. I was a welder. I built with Legos, and just my whole life always that way. And so this was the first time I couldn't be kinesthetic. I had to kind of go within instead. It's kind of like when you are blind, you have to get your hearing really good, or if your hearing is gone, you're deaf, you get your sight really good. And so this was the first time I had to switch how things were working. And so it actually got to the point where I started to use my mind more. And then I got into a point of extreme research, and I found the process of pyrolysis, and I set my sights on, okay, as soon as I get my mobility back in my thumb, I'm going to go to welding class, I'm going to get ahead, finish everything, and then I'm going to build my first reactor. And that's exactly what I did. So of course that's my story, but how does this apply to you? Well, it's just the simple, universal alchemy, you could say, of how all things work, and how we really don't have any control over what will happen to us ultimately. And the only control we do have is ourselves and how we choose to internalize and see anything. It's our perspective that we have control over, and that's all. And so I don't know what you could be going through, or whatever your big trial or tribulation could be, if it is being stabbed, if it is something completely different. But we all will go through these things, and the universal lesson is that it's all in your perspective. And like I kind of said before, kind of using the position you're in to your advantage, right? Like if you're blind, get your ears better than everybody else. If you're deaf, get your eyes better than everybody else, right? And it's the same thing that can apply to you And no matter what position you're in, there's always the duality of the other side of it. But you have to be open to seeing the other side. You can't stay in just pessimism. I had never been so depressed in my life when I lost mobility to my thumb. I'll be honest, that was definitely the darkest time of my life for all those months. But, you know, you just have to keep moving forward. You have to keep working at something. You have to keep building towards something. Because the moment you become stagnant, that's when you get consumed. They did not see any forever chemicals. They did not see any microplastics. They did not see any carcinogenic compounds that are environmental hazards in this. If the government didn't have their eyes on me before, they certainly have their eyes on me now. I just had my plastiline, gasoline made from 100% plastic right here, analyzed. And the guy who ran the sample, you know what he said? His words, not mine. He said, I ran it, and this thing right here has no business being a fuel additive. This is so clean. This is a fuel alternative. So we did a GC, a gas chromatograph from the range of C1 to C5 for the plastiline. So in short, it was not a full spectrum test. It didn't give us the octane, unfortunately, but it did show us the compounds, the general compounds, and we can compare that to C1 to C5 of gasoline. Now, the compound range of C1 to C5 in the plastiline is cleaner, it's better composed than that of gasoline from the pump. And that's fact. We have the paper, the sheet here to show it. You see ethane, methane in there, isobutane, pentane, isopentane. The ethane and methane being dissolved in here actually give it a high octane. Now, I don't know what the octane number is. They weren't able to get it with this test. However, we know from the engine tests I've done, this has left a little bit of a white chalk on like the end of the exhaust tips of the vehicles we put it in. And that is a sign indicative of a high octane. We still got to figure out what the octane is, but from anecdotal evidence, this has a higher octane than 87, almost guaranteed. This did not show the emissions if this were to burn. However, it did show the general compounds. And like I said, the general compounds of this are very clean. We got to do the full spectrum test. That did not include the octane, for example, as well as every compound after the C6 range. Now, when you're doing gasoline, the C1 to C5 range is the most important because unlike diesel, you want the shorter hydrocarbons to be the cleanest. We saw this was composed of a lot of ethane, methane, isobutane, isopentane, pentane, and butane. All of those are clean burning hydrocarbons that are also not overly carcinogenic in any way. What we're going to do next is a general emissions test of the plastiline and the plastadiesel. See if we can pass a standard emissions test out the exhaust of a vehicle, and then we're going to get the plastiline and the plastadiesel going through the absolute certification range, all the tests that they have. But so far, just like the plastadiesel, plastiline is looking great. So we're doing it, guys, changing the world. I'm able to make fuels that if they're not, look, at the least end, these fuels I make are just as good as what you get from the pump. But on the other end, they're better, right? Well, we already saw the diesel is better. But is the plastiline better? We're going to see soon. Everybody ready? Yes. All right. So let us begin. We're all recording?
Yes.
Everybody? All right. So, in this can here, I have plastiline. Gasoline alternative that I made 100% from plastic waste. And what we have here is a beautiful vintage truck. And today, the 6th of April, 2025, I am about to put plastiline inside of a truck and run it for the first time in history. So, are we all ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah. Plastic in the fuel. Yeah. So, I'm going to be pouring the plastiline in right here. And right here, we have a hose that goes right to the fuel pump. So I'm going to pour the plastiline in this can, and when the engine is cranked, it's going to pull the plastiline directly into the engine. So this will be running off of 100% pure plastiline. So I'm going to pour it in, and then everybody will be able to come and see what it looks like inside of the tank. So. Yeah, make sure you guys get that pour. Get that pour action there. All right. And just for history's sake, I kind of want, a few of you guys to come up and see and confirm that there is stuff in the can. You know, for history's sake, for the video's sake, nobody's gonna say we didn't do it.
It's very yellow.
If you want to know what it smells like too. Hey, and for the record, just off of the smell, can you guys? Is it gasoline in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's plastic. You guys are supposed to say no. You're supposed to say it's gasoline. Does it smell different from gasoline? Yeah, it's different. So this is not gasoline that we just put in here. This is plastic. About the whole like burnt gasoline. It smells like burnt gasoline. Yep, get that.
It looks yellow when you zoom in.
Plastiline.
It's like very greenish yellow.
Did you get a close up?
It smells like plastic.
It actually smells a little bit like burnt plastic.
It kind of smells like cleaner.
Can you smell it, Bobby?
All right. So,
Like ear
that top one, that cream. All right. You got me. Hey.
Started another problem.
Oh, you want to see? Yeah.
Multi-use product.
Hey, much love to Houston, everybody. It's been an amazing experience here. So thank you all for making this possible. Thank you to Bobby for the truck, Carlos for the venue location, Matt for the filming, the other Matt for connecting everything together. Thank you all for making this possible, coming out for all your support. And we're about to make history right now. You ready, Bobby? Woo! Let's do it. Plastic and the fuel. Come on, baby. Get that shot. Get the shot that it's going in. Get that shot. Yes. Let's go! The value of the machine is that it's getting rid of plastic and truly destroying the plastic.
The goal is to prove and to provide to the public and to the world that you're not out of water.
All right. Well, hey. What's today?
It is the 24th, Tuesday, September 24th.
Okay. Tuesday, September 24th. Tuesday, September 24th. Remember that day in history, because today what we just did, we ran an atmospheric water generator with Julian's diesel fuel made out of plastic. We just turned plastic into water.
Yup.
Yeah.
Oh, and you don't believe
There you
us?
go.
You don't believe us that it's water? There you have it. Water. The cleanest water from
Very
plastic
good.
waste.
Hey, we didn't waste any time. I flew in yesterday. Julian got in yesterday. We got up this morning really early, and this is the result of it. All the plastic that's in the world today, where people don't have water to drink, this is a solution. Julian needs assistance and help to finish off designing and engineering his technology. I'm building it, just started today, just got funding today, building a new machine for commercial development to go out to everybody in the marketplace. Hey, plastic, too much of it, not enough water.
Yep. Goes hand in hand.
There you go, guys.
Turning plastic into gas is not just a technological advancement, it's a mindset shift, right? It shows us that waste isn't always the end of a product's life, but the beginning of something new. So by embracing these innovative solutions, we're not just cleaning up the planet, we're actually creating a sustainable energy. We're reducing our reliance on fossil fuels and taking one step closer to a circular economy, right? Let's stop seeing plastic as garbage and start seeing it as potential. The future is not in landfills per se, it's in transformation. Plastic can be used to fuel a fresh water supply. Shout out to Nature Jab, as well as the Moses West Foundation. Please follow and support our brothers, those two kings, Julian Brown, again, Nature Jab. Do appreciate you guys for what you have done. You are brilliant minds, and we appreciate you. Please support. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.